Hello, fellow ambitionists, and welcome to Goal Accomplishment Made Easy, the podcast. I'm your host, and this is where we turn your ambitions into actionable plans. Through proven strategies, personalized goal roadmaps, and a focus on progress, I'll guide you in breaking down big goals into milestones you can achieve. Each episode delivers practical tools to help you stay on track and make real progress towards your goals. Ready to start accomplishing? Let's dive in. Hello, welcome back to Goal Accomplishment Made Easy. I am your host and creator of Goal Accomplishment Made Easy, Desiree Stapleton Gonzalez. And if you didn't know, Goal Accomplishment Made Easy has just gone SaaS, baby, which means software as a service. Meaning, if you've been here before, you know that Goal Accomplishment Made Easy was a company that offered operations and project management services to other companies through me as a fractional COO. Now, hashtag she's retired, she don't do that no more. And that is because companies hired someone like me to come in and map out their vision, right? They tell me what they want. It was my job to map out the steps that need to happen to get there, create that timeline, and execute on those steps to make sure that we actually got there. All of my KPIs were around delivering that objective, right? This is your goal. I'm here to help you accomplish it. And not only accomplish it, but create the steps needed for you to accomplish it. I started doing that because now I want to do it for the everyday person because I realized that these people at the top who had access don't need more access. The people in the middle and the bottom need more access. And so I have taken my operational rigor and brain and project management goodness and I put it into a software so that way you can input your goal and it will do exactly what I did for companies. It will map out what you need to do by when. It gives you a timeline, it gives you deliverables that you need to deliver. And it will give you tasks that need to get done. If you are off on something, it will recalibrate the entire plan. If you only have 10 hours this week to work on something, it will recalibrate the plan. If you are working on multiple goals, it will tell you what needs to be done first in order for this part to happen, in order for this part to happen, in order for this part to happen. It is truly project management for your goals. And I love that for me. And I love that for the people that are using it. So let's talk about the art of not letting people play in your face. This is coming from a retired fractional COO and people pleaser. Okay. You'll be like, how do we get here? But trust me, when I get done, you'll understand how we got here. So I'll be the first to admit it. I was a version of a people pleaser for a long time. And not in the obvious way, right? I wasn't the person who couldn't say no, child, please. I was the person who said yes and then secretly resented it, who absorbed the comment that should have been addressed, who let things slide that deserved a response because I didn't want to make it a thing, right? In operations, that tendency gets dressed up nicely. It looks like being collaborative or being professional or being the person who keeps the room together. And sometimes it is those things. But sometimes it's just letting people play in your face while you smile and move on. So here's what playing in someone's face actually looks like, right? It doesn't always look like disrespect. Sometimes it's subtle. It's the credit that gets redistributed. The feedback that's really just criticism, just in professional language. The person who asks for your expertise and then questions every answer. The client who reframes your legitimate concerns as a performance issue. The meeting where your ideas land flat and then 20 minutes later, someone else has the same thing and the room lights up. The fuck? So if you've been in professional spaces for any length of time, especially as a Black woman, you know exactly what I'm describing. It's the thing you notice, but don't always name. The thing you file away and process later, usually alone. People pleasing. taught me to absorb all of that without making it a problem. And for a long time, I thought that was strength. It wasn't. It was self-abandonment. So the moment I started unlearning it, I don't think there wasn't one moment. It was a slow accumulation of moments where I finally got tired of my own silence, tired of over delivering for people who would never acknowledge it, tired of crafting my communication so carefully that the truth got buried under diplomacy, tired of leaving rooms knowing I had said nothing that I actually needed to say. When I started to understand is that people pleasing isn't kindness. It looks like kindness. It's packaged as professionalism and grace and being the bigger person, but at its core, it's fear, right? Fear of being too much, fear of the response, fear of the relationship shifting if you take up space you actually deserve. And that fear, when you let it run your professional life, costs you. It costs you money because you don't negotiate. It costs you respect because people learn that you'll accept. It costs you your goals because you spend your energy managing everyone else's comfort instead of building your own thing. And so, what I have learned instead is that you can be warm and still have a line. You can be professional and still name what's happening. You can care about a relationship and still refuse to let it be the reason you stay quiet. The art isn't in becoming cold or combative, it's in learning to say the thing clearly, calmly, and without apology, and then letting the other person decide what to do with it. Not every situation needs a confrontation, but every situation where someone is playing in your face needs a response. Even if that response is just you deciding internally that this person no longer gets a certain kind of access to you. Okay? Boundaries don't always need to be announced. Sometimes they just need to be enforced. So if you're like, okay, what does this have to do with my goals? Everything. People pleasing and goal accomplishment are fundamentally at odds because goals require you to prioritize your own vision, your own timeline, your own plan, your own definition of success over the comfort and expectations of the people around you. Every time you shrink your goal to make it more palatable, every time you slow down your timeline because someone expressed doubt, every time you abandon a plan because you were more focused on the response than the result, that's people pleasing costing you your progress. So I built Goal Accomplishment Made Easy partly because I needed something that held my goals accountable to me, not to anyone else's opinion of them. A plan that didn't waver based on who was in the room, a weekly check in that asked me the honest questions regardless of how I was feeling about the outside noise. Your goals need that same protection from the doubt, from the opinions, from the version of yourself that still wants everyone to be comfortable with what you're building. So here's the practice. Notice when you're about to absorb something that you should address. Notice when you're editing yourself before you've even spoken. Notice when you're making your goals smaller so they're easier for other people to digest. And then slowly and perfectly, with grace, stop doing that. You don't have to become someone who doesn't care what people think. That's not realistic. You just have to become someone who cares more about what you think. That's the art. And it takes practice. But it's something important you can do for your goals, your career, and honestly, your peace. It's the most important thing you can do. So don't let people play in your face. You work too hard for that. I hope this helped, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Goal Accomplishment Made Easy, the podcast. Stay committed. Keep taking those small daily steps and watch your goals turn to reality. For more resources and personalized support, visit goalaccomplishmentmadeeasy.com, and we'll see you in the next episode.